And we're back. What's in the tower? Without further ado, let's freaking go. 14. Ooh. Don't blink, it's your blink. Welcome back to the show. Because doing more because I'm having a wonderful day on this 16 June 2025. What a beautiful a day it is gonna be. You can tell we're a little bit tired. Got a couple of hours left before we go to sleep, so this is always the funnest part of the day. I'm making some videos, gonna be playing the tower. The huge, you know how we do it, I don't think I need to tell you, and I don't think you need to be told what's up. So, without further ado, let's freaking go, right? Got these two bad boys. This mayonnaise sandwich, mayonnaise and cheese, and a bit of cheese whiz. I got this drink, and I got the computer because I'm gonna be uploading videos. That's the behind the scene, and that's the intro. Zdrowia. Move from my mouth. Bet I'm ready as fuck. Don't blink, it's your boing. Welcome to the show. I'm doing well because I'm having a wonderful day. Oh. You got up with mayonnaise. On the 16th June 2025, we have the sunrise. You know why? Right at the same time as usual. Oh, here's what the video. Don't blink, it's your blink. Welcome to the show. We're going to be doing more because I'm having a wonderful day on this 16th June 2025. It is early morning. It is really early. It's like 5:20. Which now because of because of Twitch new rules, you're gonna be seeing me be on the computer a little bit because we're only allowed to 100 hours, and I'm already at 77, so it goes fast. Besides, it will be done somewhat quickly. I'm glad they're good, by the way. Can't believe I didn't ask. What an asshole, what a douchebag. Today we're talking about time management and how important it is. But it's more than that. It's how we manage ourselves. You're gonna be seeing me look at the phone a lot because that was good. Mayonnaise, cheese whiz. Salami. I'm gonna have to add in salami. It would have been nice. So, not only about time management, this is Crystal Light. You're not gonna believe this. You're not gonna believe this. The phone is already too hot to film. There's no way. There's no way. This is almost why it's nicer to film during the sunsets. However, the sunsets, I don't get as much sun as I do here. We've been filming for 5 minutes. What the heck? It was possibly cold. It was possibly hot from before. So yesterday, something really cool happened. Something really cool happened. I finished Elden Ring. Because I finished Elden Ring, I realized how many clips I have. So, with games that are a bit more, like, what I like to do is multitask a lot. So what I like to do is, for example, right, we take a video game that is more narrative, or a game like Fortnite. Fortnite is actually really good for that. Fortnite is really good for that. Because what you do is, in between matches, you do a couple of clips. And that really solves a lot of problem. Because doing clips, I don't mind. But, so, here's the truth, okay? Doing clips, I don't mind, okay? But, this is exactly what happened yesterday. Which is exactly what happened yesterday. I know I'm repeating myself, but it's just so new that we're doing that. It's just so new that we're trying to understand how we work. And this is such a complex conversation. It's gonna be a long video, so I guess I'm gonna possibly hate it or love it, I don't know. But see, my biggest concern is the tower. I play this game. I've been playing this game for a year, 2 years, a year. No, I'm so sorry. A year. 2 years next month. So it is the biggest game, and I'm playing a lot, right? I will play this game 7 hours per day. It is 10 gigs per hour, which is 70, and then a 70, right? So I always have to do storage, and the storage is the biggest problem, right? I constantly have to check it out. However, lately we've been emptying the phone, so that's actually pretty good. Like, for example, right now we are uploading 4 videos on this one. This is why it's so hot, because we're uploading videos. So the system is working harder, okay? Okay, I got you. So, all of this to say, give me a sec. This is harder. You lose the habits of doing this, you know? You really lose the habits of doing this. So yesterday I was like, okay, well, what I do usually is I wait last second. And because we wait last second, I have 4 or 5 pages of clips. Now the pages are what? The pages are super simple. So, we're old school. We still live in the 20s or 40s. So I started this. This is a funny story. I started this. It's August 2022. So you see, this is 80s, and all of this, you can see it's really like. What is that? I wrote a little message. I don't know what I wrote. I don't know what I wrote, but that's me, of course. So if you look at it here, they're all pages of clips, right? So again, what you do is you check out the time, you check out the beginning, you check out the ends, right? This is the way we work. This is the way I like to work. A lot of people will say that this is more work. It's like when I was taking notes for a recap, when I could just check the show and remember scenes per scene per scene. It's just figuring out. And even then, that's part of the video of today. And we end up with 4 pages and too much. And I'm like, fuck it, I don't want to do 4 pages. And You take breaks and you take breaks and you take breaks, and next thing you know, you've been doing this for 6 hours, right? So in my book, I don't mind doing this, but I have to focus on storage. If I get 7 hours of storage per day, that is 7 hours where I can either stream, do clips, or film, because we're playing the Cheat Towers right now. And then I'll take some breaks. So again, this is really important because this is resource management and time management. Lately, we've been doing a lot of TikTok live. Now, the TikTok live are great because you can record the screen. We record the screen for 30 to 45 minutes. It'll give you about 3 gigs of data, right? So this is one thing. If we upload 15 gigs per hour, 3 gigs will take a fifth. It'll take 12 minutes, which is super fast. So I filmed for 30 minutes to 40 minutes, and it takes me 12 minutes to upload. So already we're winning versus a tower, which takes me, it's 10, 30. It takes me 2 hours to upload 3 hours of the tower. So it's a lot more. You see, there's the similarity right now. Depending on what you're recording, it'll take more or it'll take less space. Now, how does it work? I don't fucking know. Does it matter? Not really. So the main goal was yesterday, right? And I had like an epiphany. I had like an euphoric moment, and I was doing the clips, and why it was so nice was because I don't have, and this is pretty sad, a lot of shows that I enjoy, right? Most of the shows that I enjoy, I do enjoy them, but there'll be a, you can even hear it when it gets stopped, so this is important, because I don't want to be looking at it all the time, because then I'm looking at this, I'm looking at the clips, I'm looking at you guys. There's lots, you know. Again, understanding yourself and understanding how you can manage. You see, instead of the video today, it was time management. What if it was resource management? And what if the resources that we're talking about is yourself? What if the tool that we're using and the tool that was available to you and the resources that was available to you was yourself, your brain power, your energy, you know? That's also important. So I had like an epiphany, and I was like, dude, right now we had TikTok. Okay, I'm so sorry. One of the things that I like watching is the TikTok battles. I like about these two a lot. They're garbage people. They are absolute garbage people. They get like exposed about them once a month. They both have been on the platform for a long time. They both hate each other, and they both are hated by the rest of the people. The funny thing is, they found this almost loophole, which is insane. And when you think about it, this is also super important because you're understanding how people are doing things and how they're viewing their business. They know that they burn their name, right? So then, the two of them who burn their name are in such a bad position that all they can do is fight against each other. And then you're both hated at the same level. And then, like, okay, well, it's not about who you hate, it's who you hate less. You know, when you want to win. So, it is two people, and I know it's going to sound horrible, but there's a reason for it. It's two people self-destructing, and you watch them live. And although it is a perverse thing, it is not healthy to watch this. It makes me laugh because they'll talk about each other's mom, and it's kind of like a circus, and it's crazy because you think that those people don't exist, but they do. You know, they do, and you're like, holy shit, I didn't know that existed. So, to go back on the subject, I was like, okay, well, I want to watch this. Then I was watching this, and then I was like, okay, well, I have two choices. I just did, and this is really cool. This is really, really, really cool. I just did a couple hours of clips, which again is taking this to this. The clips in itself it's not hard, but it's tedious. It's doing the same thing over and over and over again, and your brain gets into this loop, and then you cannot get out of the loop, so it becomes boring, right? Your brain isn't bored because what you're doing is boring. Your brain is bored because what you're doing lacks stimulus, which stimulates your brain into becoming a more active, a more responsive organ. What I'm doing is stimulating. It's something I enjoy. I'm answering this with enthusiasm. In this very case, the fuel for your brain to work as perfectly as it is enthusiasm. You're right. It isn't the subject. It is your perception of the subject, your emotional response, right? So when you watch, I'm gonna say the dumbest shit ever, but I don't care. When you watch corn, right? You watch corn. You kind of get into this mood, right? You kind of get into this mood, and corn is a perfect example in a fucked up way because you get into a position where your brain is thinking like, hey, okay, it's corn time, right? And you get into another position where your brain is like, well, my body needs it, right? But then you also get into a position of this is a response to a certain event, aka I'm bored, I got a couple minutes, I'm going to sleep. For example, me, I have consumed corn. And I know this is a lot of information. I don't care. I have consumed corn for a while, and I'll be honest. If I don't watch corn before I go to sleep, I don't sleep well. I have a hard time falling asleep. Why? Because my body is accustomed to that. It's like, for example, this person that always have a glass of water next to the bed when they're sleeping. Do they drink it? No. Most of the time they left it halfway empty. They drink a sip or two, right? But it's a source of comfort for them, right? This is your brain as programming thing, right? Your body. This is the amazing thing, right? A lot of people. I was sleeping. I said in the video I was sleeping for 4 hours. Somebody said, "How did you do it?" And I said it's simple. Your body will tell you it's tired. It's your body that will tell you it's tired, right? But who's in charge of the body? The brain. So if you can convince your own brain that you're not that tired, your brain will send a message to the body that it's not tired. Now, ultimately speaking, the body will shut down, right? That's gonna be something that's gonna happen. But imagine when your body's shutting down, that you have enough content to be able to go to sleep for 8 hours and upload constantly for the 8 hours. And the time that you upload for the 8 hours is time where you don't have to worry about storage. You don't have to worry. And if you're lucky enough, those 8 hours are completed by all of the videos that you posted or that you want to post are finished. You know? And that's what you have to think about. It's also management. It's not about how much time I'm awake. This is also insane. It's like the I'm not making content for money, but the financial motivation behind making content are there also. There is a financial, but it's not a financial in the sense of I can be a millionaire. I have a fucking hard on thinking that a video that I made 2 years ago that I don't even remember making. It happened last week. We had a monster review, and it was oatmeal. Somebody said, "Oh, the can is rare," and I went to check on Google, and they were right. It was rare. Uh, there's rarer can, but it was rare. And then there's a video that I did 2 years ago. Do I remember making this video? Yes, yes. Is it something that I think about on a daily basis? No, you know. So it was like, okay, well, guess what, you know. And then another video that I did 3 years ago when I opened up a lighter, and I opened up a lighter, and people commented and said, "Yo, this is super cool. Did you have a problem with it?" Right? This is so um, kind of important in a way of what I'm doing is fun. You know, what I'm doing is meaningful, and finding meaning is such a it's so hard to talk about. It's so complex also. I was having a hard time with finding meaning in what I was doing. But then, what is the description of meaning? And in my opinion, what is meaningful and what isn't meaningful? Well, if I knew what's meaningful, I would do something that's meaningful, right? And then, even if I do understand what meaningful means, then perhaps there's a small chance, a very small chance, that something that is meaningful to me isn't meaningful to someone else. And if it isn't meaningful to someone else, then we have a disagreement, right? Now, ultimately speaking, because we're looking for work, this is also something that's bothering me. Because something that's meaningful for me, if it's not meaningful for my job, my boss, it's like, fuck you, it's not meaningful. Because the boss has a power situation, authority situation, in thinking that, not thinking, but leverage. You're coming to me because you need money, right? I didn't come to you, you came to me. There's a leverage, there's a power, there's an imbalance in the force that goes Star Wars, whatever. So coming back to what I was saying, I find more meaning and achieving one of my goals, right? So, for example, to me, there's nothing that I hate more, and this is the roots of insanity. There's nothing I hate more than doing work for nothing. I hate that. And it's funny because if you look at half of my 95% of my videos, they have 1 or 2 views, which I'm super grateful for. But you know, and it's nuts because, how can I put this? It's nuts because doing work for nothing. So, for example, right, I do a stream. I'll upload a stream. There is playthrough. Oops. There is playthrough, and it's a true story. On my YouTube, I think it's Cyberpunk 2077. Yes, it is. I had a girlfriend in January, and she wanted time, and because she wanted time, I didn't have time to do the clips. Okay, which again, priorities. She was more important than clips. Who gives a shit about clips when I have a billion clips on the channel, right? But then what I realized is that I not only didn't do the clips, I also forgot to post one of the parts. The part was missing. Now I got lucky because this was a 30 hours playthrough. I wasn't that far in the game, but this is a game that is 200 hours plus. So if I ended up being like, holy shit, dude, you know, I'm stuck. I'm completely stuck. Then what am I supposed to do? You know, what am I supposed to do? This is where it causes problem. Not because you didn't do clips, but because you didn't use what you did for. See, somebody, and again, I'm not judging people. But there's a couple of things I can say about that. A 9 to 5. I think a 9 to 5 is very noble. And again, you guys know me. We're starting a 9 to 5 possibly next week. Think about how it is important for society. We all partake in it. I think the betterment of society isn't through kindness, but into teamwork, right? You can be an asshole as long as you're partaking in society and improving society. It doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter because you're an asshole, but I don't have to deal with you. This is it's I live in the same city for my whole life, so this is kind of more meaningful to someone like me. You're an asshole, but you're making this city better. I don't have to deal with you every single day, but I have to live in this city every single day. So a somewhat of a priority based on your need, if you will. Yeah, that's actually quite interesting. A system of need that is allowing someone to be an asshole. Well, you're a doctor. We can forgive that you're kind of like a douchebag because you're a doctor. In this, you don't think it happens, but it happens. When you go to the dentist and they overcharge you, what do you say? You say, fuck you, I'm not gonna pay? No, you're paying. When the garage where you get your car fixed calls you and say, hey, it's gonna cost that much. Do you tell them, fuck you, I'm not gonna pay? No, you said, okay, well, it's a bit expensive. And the worst thing is, you're gonna go home and gonna complain about it. My father was, he fixed it's a vinyl player, vinyl CDs. And it broke not too long ago. It broke, but the dude didn't use it in years. And he comes to me and he's like, hey, I have to fix it. So I'm like, okay. And then he tells me a week after, he's like, well, I went to fix it. And I'm like, yeah, did it work? He said, yeah, but it cost me $350. And I was like, okay, well, first of all, do you use it enough to worth 350. Second of all, nobody asked you to fix it. You just like to fix it. So if it's expensive, this is on you. I'm not saying that what you did wasn't okay. I'm not saying that you shouldn't fix things that are important to you, but you can also like realize that, well, for example, with this phone, we've been fixing it, fixing it, fixing it, fixing it. It cost me more. It cost me more to fix it than to buy a new phone, you know. And then when I realized that, I'm like, okay, well, you know, this is a problem. This is a problem. Everything has limited value, just like a person has limited values. Are you helpful in my life or you're not? Are you fun to be around? Most of your friends are gonna be fun to be around, but are they improving your life? No. I have this friend who sadly had a tough family situation, and his family situation is horrible. And they're constantly putting pressure on him to um, to partake in the thing, to not be, because right now he's staying away from it. So because he's staying away from it, it's seen as neutral. Because it's seen as neutral, it feels like, oh, you should be defending me. I'm your family. The other person is is also your family. So you're like, yeah, but I'm also your family. What the fuck are you doing? You know, it's a tough situation, and you're gonna stop because it's your family. You're gonna stop because it's your friend. You know, so you stay in this situation, but they don't bring you anything, and then you're like, fuck, you know, what is this bringing me? And is a relationship supposed to bring you something? No. But if a relationship costs you more than it brings you, oops, yeah, there we go. If a relationship costs you more than what it brings you, like for example, I had this it's not really a friend. Let's call him a acquaintance. Um, we used to go to he's a good person, but he has some deep rooted issue, and he used to go to the strippers. And when he went to the stripper, there was one particular girl that he really, really, really liked. And then she was working with a lot of people, and he was like, "Yo, I really like you. I have a good paycheck, right? And because I have a good paycheck, I can pay you. So I'm gonna reserve you for the whole night." Now it wasn't prostitution; it was all legal. Don't worry. But then what he didn't tell the girl was that his father died, and that the income that he was receiving was not an income; it was a saving. It was the inheritance. So the girl kept asking for more and more and more and more. He fell in love, which can make a housewife in a hoe. No, you cannot make a hoe into a housewife. Oops. You can definitely make an housewife into a hoe. Trust me. And he spent, and then he told her the truth. Not because he wanted to, but because he didn't have any cash. He said, "Hey, look, I'm broke right now, but I'm looking for work, and I'm only asking for you a couple of weeks. If you want to chill, let's go for a coffee. We don't have to be at work, right?" And she told him, "No pay, no play." And you know, and this guy unalived himself, you know. So yeah, he was. He was in French would say enfant roi. So a kid that was always told yes, you couldn't tell him no, and that made him not nice to be around. That's it. So all of that to say, like, there's definitely situations that are gonna cost you more and are not worth it, you know. And this is why am I talking about now? That's right now. Well, it is still management, time management. Like yesterday, I was in live, and I usually when I go, I'm weird like that. But when I go to a live, I don't like talking. We had this happened 2 days ago actually, and it was Anna. I fucking adore Anna. She's super sweet, and Anna is a bit more reserved. Yeah, a bit more reserved, and it's I think it's a coincidence, but I come in and she's inviting me, but also, and I go just to give you like a short side story. The fact that what I don't like about TikTok is they'll tell you, oh, this person just came into your life. they'll tell you some people, okay, that have um some people um that don't have a lot of people in their life, they'll actually look at it. So then I got lucky because Anna actually checked who was in the live. So you can actually check, okay, well, in my life there's who is watching. And then she saw me and she invited me. This was the well, not the very first time, but one of the first time where I was invited into a live. And usually I would have said no, but it's Anna, I like her. And I know that she's struggling with being social. You see, Anna, what I adore is that she kind of uses TikTok as a way to be more social, I guess, right? And it's hard. Of course, it's hard. But then, if you see me in 3 years ago, I was in the same position, right? Which is kind of crazy because you see this evolution, but because you evolve, it doesn't mean that everybody evolved, and because you solve a problem doesn't mean that everybody else has this problem. When you think about the problem being a problem that is not only for you, well, a solution that worked for you doesn't even work for somebody else, you know? It's kind of complex. It's kind of really complex. So I go into the life and we talk and it's fun, right? And it's really fun. And why am I talking about that is because I did it because I care about Anna. Somebody else would have asked me to do it, I would have been uncomfortable. You know, I would have said no. Then you don't like saying no, so you're kind of forced. Like, for example, on TikTok, there's this other person. I'm not gonna name her because she's super nice. She's super nice, but she doesn't have a lot of people in her chat. And TikTok is kind of a dream, right? Which I super adore. I think that's super valuable. I think that's highly admirable. The problem with her, and I think I have the same problem too, is that she'll go live. I have water in my ears and it is so uncomfortable. So uncomfortable. I've been having problems for 2-3 days now. This year, especially. And because when you start a stream or when you start a video, you have a lot to talk about, and then you just relax and you get into your mood of just content creating, and not necessarily like this is not an intro. Like, for example, in a book, you take a book, any single book that you read, the beginning is chock full of information, chock full of action, chock full of events. The middle is actually pretty boring, and the ending is actually chock full of content, right? So when you do into a video or a stream, that's what happened. And when you stream for 4 or 5 hours, this is what happens to you too. It's completely normal. Now with this person, it sucks. It sucks because I was uploading, and I was uploading on the gaming channel. So what I had was I came to you guys on a TikTok live, and TikTok, for some reason, my videos are too long, so they'll take a long time to upload. So what you do is you go on actually TikTok for a while. TikTok will download additional tools and it will make it faster. So I'm on her live, and every time that I post a video, it takes me out of the live and puts me back in. So she texts me and she's pissed and she says, "Hey, I was talking to you. Why weren't you answering?" I'm like, "What did you talk to me?" She said, "Didn't you go to my live?" I said, "No, why?" You know? And it's very demanding to be live every single day and ask people to be there, you know? It's very demanding. You know? I had Janice. I got stopped by the police 2 times 2 days ago. And yesterday he was talking about it. I was like, "How did you know that?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, you're right. I posted a video." Or there's just funny part. This is actually crazy. There was this troll, this hater, and this. I don't even know how that's possible. So he's hating on me a little bit, and he makes a couple of comments. And then people are defending me because I got amazing community, and he comes in, and we talk, and it's nice because the break is cold. So even though this is really warm, I'm not wearing shoes nor socks right now, so my feet are actually cold, which is really nice. Um, and I'm doing, and he goes in and he's calling me a loser. And my friend, she defends me. She's like, "Oh, he's not a loser. Like this guy is 30 something and living with his mom." And this another person said, "No, he's not living with his mom." And the guy, the troll, said, "I heard him today talk with his mom." And the craziest thing is, I was talking to my mom that day on the phone. So this guy went on another life. It's crazy, the simple fact of your online presence, right? Your online presence. But then again, with social media, and that's another mistake that I made. It's treated social media more like, see, phone is too hot. And then like, oh, Ink, why do you do so short? Right? It's bullshit. It's 14 degrees. But it's not hitting the phone. That's fine. That is completely normal. So yeah, so I have to put this because this is hot. This is hot. We're just gonna film till 7 o'clock today. So I got like maybe no 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. I've been always treating this as a workplace and not enough as a social place. Forget it's social, right? So when people tell you about something that you look in the video, it's normal, it's social. You had this interaction, you talk to them, right? And yeah, like I said yesterday, I had that. I was watching this battle, and then I left, and then I went to Anna. I adore Anna, but I didn't even choose Anna. It just redirected me. Okay, I'm gonna spend a couple time, and then I saw how late it was. And I have to go. So then, I was in Anna's chat. I was talking to her, but I was also making clips. So I was like, I was done. I was super done making clips. And I don't know as to why. I had this idea with Fortnite. I knew I was gonna do clips. But why with a new playthrough called Theofield Chronicles, I was like, dude, I'm gonna have to pay attention to the story because the story is possibly super cool. The story is actually possibly super good, you know. And we came in, and I was like, oh, guess what? I'm gonna do Battlefield Chronicle. I'm gonna focus on the story, and then I'll do the clips on Fortnite, right? And because I stream Battlefield Chronicle, I'll have more clips to do. So if at the end of Fortnite, I end up doing, it's not coming out. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how. It's really bugging me. Didn't bug me the first day. Didn't bug me the second day. But the third day, fuck it. Yuck. And yeah, it just sucks. It just sucks because you're like, fuck. Is this the way I should have done this since day one, you know? Just understanding yourself, understanding that those are your limits, understanding that this is possibly something that you're able to do. Like, for example, now, with the Wi-Fi that we have, it's better, but knowing that I'm playing as much as the tower as I did before, to realize how much more stress I've had for just something as simple as storage management is insane. It's also understanding your body, right? For example, the reality is, if you're bored, when you're talking, you're gonna seem bored, right? So yesterday we went to a lakeshore, and it was a beautiful place. It was a beautiful place. There was people. It was nice. But I know that if I go there every single day, it's gonna be boring for me. And it's gonna be boring for me. It's gonna be boring for you guys, right? So even though the balcony is kind of special because the balcony is my place outside that feels like inside. So there's this almost comfort level. You gotta see that when I do a video on the balcony, it tends to be longer. And if you see a video that I did at the lakeshore in public, it's a bit shorter because I'm not as comfortable. So me talking to you guys like that isn't because I have a lot to say, it's because I'm comfortable, right? Close your eyes. Imagine you're with a close friend, and you're talking to that close friend, and you're talking, and for some reason you're like, holy shit, the conversation is flowing flawlessly. Why is that? Well, because you're comfortable with that person, right? And that's nice. But just understanding yourself, just understanding your limitation. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This new job possibly is kind of dangerous because of how toxic it is, and my parents are dead against it. But at the same time, my parents know that I would like this thing. I didn't lie. My parents know that the next job that I would like to have it long term, and I would like it for it to be my last job. Right now, when I say I would like it to be my last job, I mean it. I do mean I would like it to be my last job. However, what I don't mean is I'll take my retirement. I don't mean like even if I work 4, 5, 6 years there, content creation will work one way or the other, right? There's just no way it won't work. Just today we are at 655. No, we are at 625 followers. You know. So there's constant growth, and although this growth is eternal and it's taking forever, it is still growing, and you have to be thankful for that, right? It's not necessarily about what I'm able to accomplish or what I'm not able to accomplish. It's about, okay, well, guess what? Are you moving forward or are you standing in place? Which is why I was annoyed last week. It felt like I was staying in place. Now, does people owe you something? No. They owe you to grow your channel? No. They owe you to support your channel. I got into a huge fight, and I told this story multiple times, but I was watching a guy, and this guy reminded me a lot of myself. A bit eccentric, a bit weird, right? Very talkative, just like I do. And people wasn't coming to his life. You get mad, and I kind of felt bad. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stay there. I'm not doing anything. I'm gonna do clips. That's gonna be good. Those clips I've been doing them for 2 years. So if you knew the amount of time that I passed on that, whew. So I go in and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stay here a little bit, right? And I'm staying here, and he has a battle, right? And he's doing battle, and he's telling me, hey, I shouldn't have asked you to tap. And I'm like, dude, I'm the only one in here. You chose to do this battle. I didn't ask you. You didn't ask me, hey, you want to do battles? Are you going to support me if I do battles? You didn't ask me. You're going to force me into it. And because I don't support you, you're going to get mad at me. You're going to give me shit. And I was like, who else is in your chat, bro? I'm the only one, you know? I got into a big fight because of that. And I blocked him and everything. The guy was sadly unstable. Possibly still is, I don't know. So I just left, you know. But at the same time, a lot of people are like that. A lot of people will need support. A lot of people will. It's not like I'm kissing my ass again, but there's not a lot of people that would have done this many videos after 4 years and not get a penny, which is not true. I did get some money from Twitch, but apart from that, very little. And some TikTok, but that's thanks to you guys. So I don't count it. The money I got on TikTok is because you guys gifted. I don't count it because it's not a salary, it's like a tip. Right? The waitress and that's worked 40 hours a week, she doesn't know how much tips you're gonna get, so she's gonna have to rely on tips. I work more than 40 hours a week, but I cannot rely on tips, you know? And a lot of people will not. So there is this somewhat of a expectation. So when my parents see it's a long term and they say, oh, you're gonna be unhealthy. But then, so why am I worried if the job is temporary? Because the job isn't temporary. Again, we're playing with words. We're twisting the definition, and we're twisting word. But what is long term, right? What is the temporary? Is 4 year temporary? Is it long term? Depends on the person, right? My parents are temporary because they worked 31 years or 26 years, respectively. Um, so it's different, right? But then again, for me, 5 years is a lot. I'm 22. I started working, I was 20. That's 12 years. 5 years is a bit less than half of my work year, right? Now I'll be 37, which means I'll be working for 17 years, which equate to about 70. No, it will equate to 21, 24%, something like that. And yeah, but at the same time, what if it doesn't work? What if it works in 10 years? Well, the damage I do to my lungs, to my health, is it irreversible? It's 40 years irreversible, right? And it really, something really changed my perception. Really changed my perception. And it was a singer of Rise Against, and he was talking about how he lived in a house with people, and they were all musicians, and they all had a dream, but they all knew the dream was gonna take some time. So they lived together to separate a finance, which was really good. And they separated finance, so they didn't have to worry about, hey, who's gonna pay the bills, who's gonna pay this, who's gonna pay that, who's gonna pay this, who's gonna pay that, right? So it's pretty cool. And that's pretty much it. That's what he did. But someone that with that talent, and now is a superstar, had to do this. To me, this is next to insanity. This doesn't make any fucking sense. How can one of the biggest, if not, well, not, I don't think they're the biggest, but they're really big, right? But they all struggle. They all struggle. We think about celebrities and we don't think about what they went through to get where they are, right? So the whole video was about managing yourself. Everybody can do the subject. Sorry that we did a little bit of a tangent, right? But at the same time, I like talking to you guys, and I'm comfortable talking to you guys. So with time management, was about understanding myself. Like, for example, we have been dealing a lot with procrastination, right? Or when I was in depression, I used to post old videos. It's about doing the most with what you have, the tool that you have. For example, I know that I'm not able to do clips of closing. It's not stop closing. What the fuck? Fuck it. We missed it.